In this particular video, I would like to talk about the power of focus. Focus when it comes to your project, whatever it is, whether it is losing weight, making your first $1 million, or making a six-figure income on a monthly basis, whatever it is, that's your project. And the power of focus. If you want to ask ChatGPT, ask Google, ask even WhatsApp now as artificial intelligence, ask them the question, what should I be focusing on? You're going to get different answers as to where to go and what to focus on. And whatever answer this artificial intelligence can give you, I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to give you a perspective of a human being on what you should be focusing on as far as your project is concerned. And you don't want to miss this one, alright? Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. Focus. When it comes to focus, we have two options. To focus on the world without, what is happening outside of. Whatever crisis, whatever global crisis, whatever global issues that we are facing as far as society is concerned, then to walk backward and start focusing on yourself. Or you can choose to focus on yourself, or to focus within, to focus on yourself, whatever values, whatever beliefs, whatever vision that you have as far as the future is concerned. These are the two different options you have when it comes to the philosophy of focus in general. Most of us, what we tend to do is we tend to focus on the world without. Because we say to ourselves, if I focus on the world without, I will get a very good indication as to what I should be going and what I should be doing in this particular season. And this is what most of us do as far as life is concerned, because we are trained, we are conditioned to think and to act like sheep. We do what others are doing, and we stop doing what others have stopped doing. Whatever the masses out there are doing, we tend to look at it as the norm. We tend to look at it as the direction that we should be taking as well as far as our life is concerned. And that's basically the majority of us. From the moment you were born, sent to kindergarten, sent to school, sent to university or to college, you are trained to think and to behave like the rest of the people around you, because that's what you are conditioned to see as, yes, the criteria for survival in this modern world. We call it safety in numbers. Let me just park it for now. Let's just go back to focus within. Why is it particularly important? Because when you focus on who you are, what you're going to happen is you're going to realize that yes, I don't need to be focused so much on the world without. Because when I focus on the world without, the tendency as well will be to simply start looking at what I don't have, my lack. You find that I'm deprived of certain things, and when you start doing that, what is happening? You are slowly but surely activating something really key and very dangerous. You know what it is? Scarcity mindset. Because you're going to say to yourself, because I don't have X, Y, Z, therefore I can commit myself to this particular project. Whereas when you start focusing within, you're gonna realize that what I have, the seeming little that I have, is basically all that I need to have in the season. I have to ask myself the question, what do you have in your hands? Because what I have in my hands is all that I need for the season. And once I start focusing on what I have in my hands, I'm going to realize I'm going to slowly but surely activate something key. The abundance mindset. You're going to realize, after all, that you are more than enough. What you have is more than enough, and the seeming little action you're going to be taking towards your project are going to be more than enough to manifest the grand vision, the values and belief that you have deep within. So the key is to start focusing within as opposed to focusing without. And it takes great discipline to focus within as opposed to focus without, because that discipline will be challenged on a daily basis by the group of people that you're going to be socializing with. They will try to challenge that and say, no, don't you see? how bad the economy is right now? Don't you see how dire the situation is right now? What gives you the right to believe that you can come and make XYZ happen? Okay, let me just give you an example. In the early 1970s, when a young Bob Marley found himself in London with his buddies, trying to find a passage back to Jamaica, because whatever project they went to London for did not materialize. So they found themselves short. So the one thing that would allow for them to go buy ticket back to Jamaica, they lacked it. So they started looking around to see where they could go as far as what to do is next. So eventually they laid their eyes on a gentleman by the name of Chris Blackwell. So they go to Chris Blackwell and they simply say to him, you know, we may not look like much, but we have a big vision. We have a big focus on our future. We know that we have the potential to make great music happen. But the only thing missing right now is the resources to put together an album and to produce an album and to put it out there through the proper distribution channels. But we understand that you have what it takes to make things happen. Would you be willing to lend us some money so we could go back to Jamaica and focus on putting together an album that you could actually now produce for us and you could now distribute for us? Chris Blackwell listened to them intently, and at one point he looked within, and the answer he got from within was yes, put together some money and give it to these young people, they're going to go and come back with an album. But when he looked around, or when he started focusing without, his body said to him, no, if you give these young people money, they're going to take the money, they're going to run away with the money, and they will never come back with the money. And plus, look at the global economy right now. The early 1970s, it's one crisis after the other. It's recession after recession. It's inflation. Basically, we are in a very dire situation. So lending money, this kind of money people are asking for right now, is a very risky business. But guess what happened is, he focused within, he found the answer, and the rest is history. He lent them money, they went to Jamaica, and they came back, and the rest is history. Example number one. Example number two, I'm going to go to 1795 in France. The example I used a few days ago with Napoleon Bonaparte and his lovely girlfriend, fiancée to be, soon to be wife by the name of Marie-Joseph Rose Tacherin de la Pagerie, otherwise known at the time as Josephine de Beauharnais, because she was divorced. When I started looking at the project to take over France, it was a very crazy season for France. Because a few years before that, in 1789, that's when France had reached a place of revolution. And the one trigger that accelerated everything as far as the revolution is concerned was lack. People that were expressing a lack of access to resources, lack of access to basic necessities. The cost of living was such that people could not take it anymore. It was an untenable situation that led them to basically explode and go before the king, and his people simply say no. King Louis XVI, so Queen Marie Antoinette, we need to make certain things happen as far as life is concerned. Demand for you to start looking at putting together reform, and because they refuse to actually listen to them, that's what led to their demise. But anyways, let's just go back to 1795. Between 1789 and 1795, the economic situation of France was completely bleak. It was a dire situation. So for young people to sit there, barely 26 years old, young Napoleon Bonaparte, to be thinking in terms of taking over France and to become the head of state, you had to take some boldness. Because everything around him was simply telling him, no, please don't do it. But because he focused within, guess what happened? Within less than 9 years, he managed to get to the top and be crowned Emperor of France. Let me just park it for now. Let's now fast forward to 2010 in America. When Steven Spielberg said to himself, I'm about to put together a movie, and the movie project is called Lincoln. I'm looking for an actor who can fit the shoes of Abraham Lincoln and deliver a performance that's going to give us some kind of ROI on the investment we're going to make into this project. Again, think again. This was 2010, barely 2 years after the 2008 financial crisis that crippled America's economy. People were losing their homes as if to be losing your home was actually to be in fashion. So people were losing homes right, left, center. All over the place, people were losing their homes. It was a very bleak situation. But Steven Spielberg had the idea to put together this kind of movies. So, it could be looking without and simply say, I'm going to stop right here. But start looking within and simply say, yeah, we're going to go ahead with this project. And it focus eventually on a young man by the name of Daniel Day-Lewis. And simply says, gentlemen, would you like to consider this particular role that I've actually put together for you? And the role is to act like Abraham Lincoln. A tall order, no pun intended. And Daniel Day-Lewis simply said, yes, I know. The economy right now is pretty bleak. Our situation right now is pretty dire. So if I have to focus on what is happening outside, I'm not going to do much as far as life is concerned. I'm just going to say, let's wait. But I'm going to say to you, let's wait, not because I don't want to do the movies, but I'm going to say, let's wait because I want to go deeper as far as being Abraham Lincoln is concerned. Give me about 365 days. During this time, I'm simply going to focus on one key thing. How to become the best Abraham Lincoln I could possibly be. I'm simply going to ignore what is happening outside. And guess what? By the time they started shooting the movie on October 17, 2011, Abraham Lincoln was ready. And the rest is history. And I'm going to stop right there. Let me just give you just a bonus story. In the early 1976, just look up the cost of borrowing in 1976 in America. Look up the cost of borrowing and just basically have a clear idea as to what I'm talking about. When Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak had the idea to put together this project called Apple, go look at the cost of borrowing back in 1976 and you're going to see that there is never a good time or best time to start anything. If you start looking on what is happening outside, but when you develop the discipline to focus within, you're always going to find the right answer as to when to start focusing on your project and to make things happen. And I'll stop right there. Now, your assignment as far as your project is concerned, I'm simply going to say the following thing. Develop the discipline to focus within. Develop the discipline to look at what you have and simply says, this is all that I have and this is all that I need as far as my assignment is concerned. If you have only $2, that's all you need for your assignment. If you have only $1, that's all you need for the assignment. And you have to find creative ways now to make that dollar or to make this $2 in your hand turn now into the seeds that's going to get your project going and get you to a place where you're going to become noticed as far as the community is concerned. My friend, as far as life is concerned, it's not so much lack of access to opportunities that we experience as far as life is concerned. No, my friend, it's simply lack of imagination. Once you expand your imagination, you're going to realize that what you have right now is actually more than enough. But what it takes is the discipline. Discipline to focus on who you are deep within. Discipline to focus on your vision. Discipline to focus on your values. Discipline to focus on your beliefs. And discipline more specifically to work on your work ethics. When you develop discipline to work on your work ethics, my friend, all I can simply say, sky is going to become the limit. Alright? Much love everyone. Talk to you soon. Take good care. I'm out.